So you want to design your persona, but you have no idea where to start. Don't worry, this video might help. If you clicked on this, then chances are high you already know what a persona is. But if you are one of the people who don't know, I'll explain it really quick. The definition of a persona when it comes to art is a version of yourself that's meant to represent you, or your account as a whole. They can have different purposes depending on what an artist wants to do with them. Most of the time you can just think of them like your own little mascot. They are generally good to help you make your content more recognizable, or to stick out more. That can help, especially if you're like me and you sometimes don't really have a set art style, or you draw with multiple styles. Just imagine somebody scrolling through Instagram or TikTok and randomly seeing one of your videos. Now, obviously you don't include your persona in every piece of art you make, but chances are a little bit higher that they will remember you from the last time, because that character will then represent a lot of your work. So that's for the purpose. Let's talk about the design itself. You may be asking yourself if your persona has to look like you. And the answer is no. In fact, your persona could be a total opposite of you. Personally, I like when a persona has some kind of connection to the artist, whether physically or personality-wise, but you don't even have to do that. Imagine your art account as a building, and anyone who wants to enter will meet your persona first. So just ask yourself, are they a good representative of what you do as an artist? Your persona could be anything. They could be a human, half human, or just an animal. They could even be a circle with some cool traits. They could be the same gender as you, or they could be another gender different from yours. They could look exactly like you, or they could not look like you at all. They could have the same hobbies as you, or different ones, maybe hobbies you were interested in but never actually tried. They could be your child self, or they could be the ideal version of yourself. There's no right or wrong, and that's what makes it fun. Whatever comes to your mind, just write or sketch it. What you see on screen right now, that's my persona. His name is Michi, because of my username obviously. And we're gonna talk about how I designed him. I actually started off by asking my friends and my Instagram followers what traits and things they associate with me. And step by step, I then started to pick out my favorites and the ones that were mentioned the most. Based on that, I already sketched out some different ideas for accessories, before I even drew the character himself. The most obvious thing, which was also mentioned the most, is my favorite color, which is soft pink. The second one was my favorite animal, which is a panda. At this point I basically already had a base in mind. I wanted some parts of me included in the design, but not everything. So I just gave him a similar haircut to mine, and then gave him black and white hair, like a panda. And of course, I had to add the ears. I was actually thinking about making the black parts of his design pink to already bring in the color aspect, but I decided against that and added the pink in form of clothing instead. I always wear hoodies, so it didn't really take long to decide what type of clothing I'd give him. He's not wearing shoes either because they're just not that comfortable, and for this design it was comfort over everything else. So this was my finished base. And after that I decided which details I wanted to add. We will just start from the top. I made his eyes two different colors. Even though I don't have that myself, my eye color does tend to be a bit confusing. It's definitely more green, but with different undertones somehow, if that makes sense. Anyway, I thought this would be a fun detail, especially since, you can't really, you can, but for my art style it didn't really fit to bring in that many colors into one eye, so I just split it up in like two colors. Next are the stars on his hoodie strings. This one is actually a little inside joke with my friends, because when I was in elementary school we did kind of a theater play, and well, I played a random star just standing there. Yeah, we'll just ignore that. Next is the back holding his art supplies, because I wanted his hobbies to be the same as mine, so I wanted him to be an artist too. And lastly, I often but not always draw him with big ass keychains, because I collect them and I am addicted to keychains. They don't even fit on my keys anymore, I just collect them in boxes. Anyway, then I also sometimes add a safety pin as an earring. It was recommended by a friend, and they said the meaning of it is that I'm safe to talk to.
Missing.
But you cried.
There were tears that ran down my face, but I did not cry.
I mean, that's crying.
So that's Michi's finished design, and as you can see, the possibilities are endless. So although you can definitely do it on your own, I would recommend you ask a few friends or your family, whether it would be appearance or personality wise, it doesn't really matter. On top of just getting a few cool design ideas, you also get to see who really cares about you and who remembers small things about you. And also, if you do have friends who like to roast you, then there's nothing wrong with adding a few weaknesses or flaws to your character. It just makes them more realistic and interesting, so go ahead and do that too, if you feel like it. All I can say is go crazy with your design. It's your character, and mainly they should be fun for you and nobody else. If you feel like you might get tired of your design, then I would recommend just waiting a few days and then see if you still like it. And even if you did already introduce your persona to social media, just remember there's nothing wrong with making changes. It's your character, you designed it, so you can make changes at any time and people will get used to it. So don't overthink this and just have fun. If you feel like you can see them that way and you can relate to them that way, the way you want to, then that's all your persona should be about. I hope the examples I gave you were helpful. Have fun designing. All my links are in the description, including my webcomic that I'm working on, so maybe you want to check that out. Have a great day. Hope to see you in the next video, and bye.